Hello, friends. This is Professor MCal once again. I am back. Some of you have been asking what happened. First, let me say that I'm very grateful to those of you that were looking for the page or wanted to find it, and those of you that are back, and for the new subscribers as well. So YouTube decided to take down, not only take down my human trafficking video, but obliterate the original page. So when it comes to that kind of content, I will have to do a Patreon or something like that instead, where people can pay $5 or something a month, and I'll do some more material that I can't put on YouTube. I'm in the process of reestablishing this page due to some errors on my part as far as saving some presentations. Some I did save. Those are the ones that are up. The ones that were not properly saved, which I am doing now, I'm properly saving everything. Some of those are gone. So I'm going to redo the Black Cube of Saturn presentation today. The reason that I chose this one was because this was by far my most successful video as far as views, and people seem to really enjoy it, and I think it's important, pertinent information that should be out there, and I enjoy it. So the presentation will be the same as last time, although the lecture will be a little bit different. So this is the Black Cube of Saturn, the ancient cult of Saturn L. So some of you know about this information already. Some people might be new to you, but we are talking about the three-dimensional representation of the planet Saturn in the form of what we call the Black Cube. Here you can see it in Australia, Denmark, Manhattan, and Santa Ana. There's also a giant one on your way into LA. I saw a huge Black Cube on your way into LA one time. The mother of all of these is, of course, the Kaaba at Mecca in Saudi Arabia. So we have talked about Baal and Molech before. There is an entire presentation on Baal. If you're unfamiliar, you can see that one. We talked about the Canaanites and the Phoenicians and how they're one and the same. So the Canaanites, as I've talked about in some prior videos, occupied the area of 6 countries, which are today Syria, Israel and Palestine, Jordan, Lebanon, and what is the other one? Oh, parts of Iraq as well. So this is the area of the people of Canaan. In the Bible, they worshipped Baal or Baal. I'm just going to say Baal, I guess. Baal in the Bible. There's a lot of stories about Baal in the Bible. I've covered some of this before. This is the area of the world that they're from. These are the people that became the Phoenicians, and the Phoenicians dominated commerce in the Mediterranean for a long time, and were actually the the arch nemesis of the Roman Empire, as the Carthaginians were Phoenician. Hannibal himself was a Phoenician, and these were the enemies of the Roman Empire. Although the Roman Empire over time absorbed their culture and traditions, they were rivals for a long time. We talked about the bull god before. Any refresher that you need about the cult of the bull, that's another former video I'm going to have to try to dig up and see if I have. You can check out my Baal Demon God of the Elite presentation, which is up. So the ancient world, as we know, is made up of primarily cults, small groups of followers. Okay, this includes, the cult of Dionysius, the cult of Baal, cult of Astarte, Asherah, many different cults over time, and different ones in different areas. Mega religions like Christianity, Islam didn't come until much later, but these are born out of cults from the ancient world as well. Particularly, I'm thinking of Catholicism. Catholicism is basically sun worship, and it has a veneer, or it has the Jesus story folded into it, etc. and so forth. But this was originally sun worship in the Roman Empire. This is the Roman version of Christianity, which is born out of the worship of the sun, and then married with the cult of Christianity and Jesus. These evolutions of these original cults are all from the ancient world, so we've covered that. Each people said a different deity for each day of the week. Each day is named after a planet, of course. Sunday is the sun, moon day, or Monday, of course. Anything with M-O-N is moon. Moon. Like the moon. The month. Tuesday is Mars. The color of blood is red. Mars is the god of war, right? So you go to Ruby Tuesdays, right? That's kind of cool. Wednesday is Mercredi in French, literally from Mercury. Thursday is Jupiter. Or Thor's Day, really, is what it is. The god of lightning and storms, Jupiter, Thor. Friday is Freya Day, Venus. Saturday is for Saturn, Saturnides. And the Key of Solomon the King, originally penned by Solomon, who supposedly the story goes that Solomon was so wise that an angel, Gabriel, came to him and gave him the secrets of magical evoking angels, invoking demons, etc., and so forth. Or it's the other way around. Invoking angels and evoking demons. Invoking is inside, evoking is to try to manifest something outside of yourself. Okay. Magical operations can be performed in conjunction with the planetary hours. This is a chart from The Key of Solomon the King by Samuel Liddell McGregor Mathers. I've talked about Mathers and how important he is as an occultist in another video. The revival of the occult in the early 20th century. All right, so these are the planetary hours. If you're familiar with magic, you should be able to decipher this pretty easily. This is the book, Key of Solomon the King. If you're interested in magic, if you're interested in the occult, this is a place to start, man. This is I don't want to say the Holy Grail, but this is pivotal. Like this would be like, learning physics and not reading Einstein. That's the, that's how important this book is here. Lesser Key of Solomon the King is the Book of the Goetia. Right? This one is for evoking demons. So this one is for invoking angels, right? This one is for evoking demons. So the lesser key is evoking demons. And Aleister Crowley, of course, does the introduction to this volume. Saturnian cult. The cult came to dominate the ancient world, the cult of Saturn, the regions of the Levant. The Levant today is a number of countries. Iraq, Syria, Jordan, Lebanon, Israel, Palestine, maybe some of the Sinai Peninsula, and some of northern Arabia, the northern Arabian Peninsula as well. Saturn's color is black. Its metal is lead. It's the heaviest metal, of course. It's Greek Orthodox priest. So what I'm doing with this presentation is showing you how the cult of Saturn is still in play today in the cult of the cube. Greek Orthodox priest. This is a Saturnian priest originally. This is derivative of Saturn worship. Very, very interesting as well that what is hanging off of his neck is this symbol here is actually... This is a Luciferian symbol here. You can look it up. Look up the symbol of Lucifer, and the symbol of like the Google Play logo, for example, is another example. That is the same. It's the same symbol but turned on its side. This is actually a Luciferian symbol here. Now, I'm not saying that this priest is Luciferian or that Greek Orthodox is Luciferian, but these things are all folded into and imbued and impressed permanently on these religions. All of these philosophies, the dark stuff, the light stuff, it's all there in some form. These are some Bulgarian priests, Orthodox priests. So you can take a wild guess where this stuff evolved from. I mean, look at the complex symbolism with these guys. This is really interesting stuff. Really interesting. I could do a whole presentation just on the symbolism present here with these. Islam, of course, the color of Saturn is black. Islamic women wear all black, of course. I shouldn't say Islamic women, but in Saudi Arabia and Iraq and Afghanistan, I think it's primarily black. Not all Muslim women choose to wear black, but traditionally in Arabia, they do. Here's an Orthodox Jew with the black cube on his head. The black cube is the cube of three-dimensional reality. It is how three-dimensional reality exists, the cube. The black cube, to worship the black cube is to worship three-dimensional reality. The two-dimensional hexagram that is on the northern pole of Saturn, you can go look this up, go to NASA's website. That is a hexagram. Okay, if you pull a two-dimensional hexagram into the third dimension, what it becomes is a cube. Saturn's color is black. This is all derivative of the worship of the planet Saturn. There's the time cube across the world. Here's the time cube at Mecca. When you go to Mecca, Saudi Arabia, for the Hajj, which is one of the 5 pillars of Islam. Let's see if I know the 5 pillars. Hajj, which is fasting, prayer, recitation of faith, alms to the poor. And what is the last one? Fasting. I got it. When you go to the cube at Mecca, you circumambulate around 7 times. Just like the Saturn is the 7th planet from the sun, the rings circumambulate counterclockwise, 7 rings, etc. This is all theater. You actually become the rings walking around the 3-dimensional cube, worshiping the God of the 3rd dimension. It's not the God of this world, it's the God of the 3rd dimension. Saturn's North Pole, as I talked about earlier, is also a hexagram, 6-sided. I don't know what it is exactly. I think that the planet Saturn and the rings, or something is going on with that planet. This planet actually creates 3-dimensional. I don't know everything about it, but I do know that this is a prevalent topic, and a lot of people enjoyed this one. This is essentially what creates 3-dimensional reality. Saturn. Saturn is the god of this world. Some of you know about the Saturn moon matrix stuff as well. I don't know as much about that. If anybody knows more about this, please enlighten me in the comments. I'd love to talk about it. I'd love to learn more about it. Let's move on. Okay, so here's another example. Saturn is the ruler of time. Like Kronos in Greek was the reaper, right? He had the sickle, right? Sickle, like cyclical, sickle. Over and over again. Time. Okay. Saturn is the ruler of time. In the Bible, it says, "Thou cannot wage war against the beast." Why? Because the beast is time. The beast is time. Given enough time, everything dies, everything breaks down, and you lose everything that you love. Given enough time, Shiva is a representation in the Indian tradition of Saturn. Shiva is the destroyer. Time is the great destroyer. Saturn, or Satan, Satan, if you go to the Middle East or the Far East, it doesn't sound like Saturn, it sounds like Saturn. If you use English, Saturn, right? Satan is time. The serpent, the snake, the Ouroboros, the snake biting its own tail. Saturn is the beast in the Bible. No one can wage war against the beast. Like I said, the beast is time. Given enough time, everything is destroyed. So I kind of covered everything on this slide already. I guess I'll move on from here. I haven't done this presentation in a while. Here's the 3 big monotheistic religions that led to Saturn. Not that they are the only 3, but these are the major ones. There's the crescent moon. Saturn, which Saturn's rings are the crest of the Nike swoosh, the Newport cigarettes logo. That's a Saturn ring. Okay. The black cube at Mecca. All right. There's a 2D cube, which equals a hexagon. It's in the Star of David. We looked at the North Pole of Saturn. The cross unfolding into a cube right here. Excuse me. The cube unfolding into a cross. 6 sides. So Christianity is also present here as well. Here's a Christian cross right here. Right? And the sickle, like the hammer and sickle, right? Here's another Orthodox Jew praying with the tefillin, the black cube on his head. All of this black cube worship is Saturn worship. It's derivative of the worship of the god of time, which is not the god of this world. I don't know that you can, I don't know what the philosophy is, if you have to somehow crucify your ego on the unfolded cross to get out of time, to get out of the Dharma wheel, whatever you want to identify it as. I don't really know, but there's something going on here that's far beyond, I think, any direct. Well, then I'm thinking of it in a phenomenological kind of way. You can directly experience, I suppose, interaction with this object, certainly, because the tefillin here is in use by this Orthodox Jewish man. So you can have interaction with it, conscious interaction with it and through it. But to fully understand it, I don't know. You'd have to I don't know. I suppose you'd have to both be able to subjectively and objectively understand it. So this is a little bit about Saturn's influence worldwide. 29 and a half years is the Saturn cycle. The World Trade Center, of course, which was a human sacrifice ritual, founded in 1971, destroyed in 2001, 29 and a half years apart. So it was built and then destroyed when Saturn was in the same place. That took 29 and a half years. It's all about Saturn. Saturn's a god of time and judgments. All this world is all about Saturn. The whole world has been secretly worshiping, maybe not secretly, but maybe not unknowingly worshiping Saturn for thousands of years. All of these prayers, all of these thoughts, all of this stuff, it goes to the god of time, all of this energy, you know. Suggested reading, Jordan Maxwell. Anything about Jordan Maxwell, I would YouTube him up. Just put in Jordan Maxwell, Saturn, etc., or whatever. You're going to find really, really interesting, important stuff from this guy. I strongly recommend Jordan. If you don't already know, some of you probably already know who he is. We talked about The Key of Solomon, The King by Samuel Liddell McGregor Mathers. Get yourself that book if you don't have it. Dive into it. Leave something in the comments. We'll talk about it. It's a book I've been studying for years. I have a few volumes of it. It takes some time to understand, but it is also fun at the same time. I mean, you can get it and kind of start enjoying it, although it will take a lifetime to really understand how to do what's in there or to undertake it yourself. There's a guy named Poke Runyon who, spelled how it sounds, I guess, who does a lot of work with Solomon's magic in his own magical temple. You could YouTube him up as well. Amazing guy. Training and Work of an Initiate by Dion Fortune. I talked about Dion and her contributions to the occult and occult literature in the early 20th century in another video. And The Mystical Kabbalah by Dion Fortune will help you as well. Kabbalah is another real key to understanding all of this stuff as well. I'll have to maybe do a video on just Kabbalah and try to break it down a little bit and start opening up some conversations about that. Please give me some suggestions. How am I doing? Am I explaining these things clearly? What other ways can I make myself more clear? What can I do to help you? And if you have any other topics or critiques, suggestions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. I ask you just to remain respectful to one another. I promise I will always remain respectful. Or this channel. That's it. Thank you very much for tuning into this one, guys. I'm going to have more for you very, very soon, and we will together get this page rolling again. Thank you so much.